Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, what's the only thing worse than being a Chicago Bears fan?
Also, did this scuba diver just pull off the crime of the century?
All that and more on the way next.
This is a segment that we call the exclusive podcast segment.
What a name.
Yeah.
We've put a lot of thought into that.
We definitely did. It's a pod exclusive. And in today's pod exclusive, it's for the podcast listeners. We did this a couple months ago, Hudson. And that is what I'm going to do is I'm going to quiz you on some of our podcast titles. Because when I edit the podcast, I always try and pull something that we talked about, a fun reference that is intriguing, but also just kind of funny, maybe. Maybe something we said or a story we talked about to give a hint at, the episode, kind of what you'll get when you click on it. And so I try to make those really intriguing. I try to put a little thought into those. So I'm going to quiz you on some of these, and you have to tell me what story we were talking about that's associated with this title.
Right.
Okay. First one, this is from a few months ago. Made decision to be wild.
Okay. This was about a man where things hadn't gone well for him. And, I think his wife left him and he lost his job. And instead of picking himself up and just being like, I'm going to get back out there and I'm going to make, he's like, I'm going to go live in the wild and basically be like a Bigfoot.
No. That's wrong. It was about the otter that broke out of the zoo, and they couldn't find it for weeks. And then the zoo finally published a statement that was like, this otter has made the decision to be wild.
Where was that?
I don't remember. I think it might have been like Wisconsin or something. It was just some type of city zoo.
Somewhere where an otter would be able to survive, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But this otter got away. It was, I think his name was Louie or something. And
I remember this because you said he made the decision to be dead.
Yeah, I was
Didn't you say that?
Yeah, because I was like, we all know what actually happened.
Yeah.
You're saying you gave up on the search for him because he's dead. He's not alive anymore. So, but they made the statement that he made the decision to be wild.
Okay.
All right, next one, also from a few months ago, Muppet Erasure.
So I think this was about Disney World, where they decided that they didn't want to have the images of the Muppets reflected at the park anymore. And so they kind of did a quick campaign to just like remove all of that. And people got upset and there was protests.
No, not quite. People did get upset, and I don't know if there were protests, but people were very upset online. This was one of the Muppet rides getting shut down.
This is Muppet Vision 3D,
yes,
right?
Yes, Muppet Vision 3D.
And Jim Henson's daughter was there.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
And so that was it was like the final day of it being around. Nobody could ride it anymore. No one could go into it anymore. And we all know what's happening where they're moving the Muppets to the former Aerosmith ride.
Oh, that's right.
The Rock and Roller Coaster or whatever.
Yeah. So it's not erasure.
No, but we did kind of make that joke.
Yeah.
That it was Muppet Erasure with them no longer having that.
It definitely
part.
feels like they don't want to promote the Muppets the way that they really should.
Exactly. All right, here's another one. I would like my spleen, please.
Okay, I feel like this actually relates to something in the podcast today. Because coming up, you'll hear about how Elton John asked for his kneecaps after he got knee replacement surgery and he wanted to turn them into jewelry. I think this is some other story like that where I think I said I would like my spleen, please. And that was because I think after you have a surgery, if you have some of your body removed, you should still be able to keep it. Just because it's not attached to you anymore doesn't mean it's not yours. So, for example, if I got my spleen removed, I want it. I would like my spleen, please.
Yes, that was your argument. But yeah, that was spot on. You got one right. We were talking about a story of somebody that was claiming that they were like trying their own rib meat or something.
Yeah.
It was a TikTok. Oh, really grossed me out. But yeah, some people do ask for their body parts or organs after they're removed.
If you're Elton John, they give them to you.
Yeah, which he did say in that documentary where he's sharing the story about his kneecaps. He says the doctor was very startled by that request. He's like, you want what? All right, here's another one, a fun one. Big Amish.
Okay, Big Amish is the guy from the Oakland A's. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. His name is Nick Kurtz. And the reason that we were talking about him is because I think he hit 5 home runs in a game.
Yes, that was exactly right. It was the Nick Kurtz game. His name is Big Amish because he's from like Lancaster County in Pennsylvania. That's his nickname, which I think I said in that podcast episode is my new favorite nickname.
Oh.
But I think
it's not as good as the Big Dumper.
I think there's a top 3, right? Like we've got Big Amish, Big Christmas, Big Dumper. And it's all the word big. Something about the big.
But my favorite is a throwback, and it does involve the word big. Randy Johnson. You know what his nickname was?
I feel like I've heard it, but I can't think of his name.
I think it was Randy Johnson. Now I'm actually, yeah. Randy Johnson was the big unit.
The big unit.
Yeah.
I think I've heard him referred.
He was really tall.
I think I've heard him referred to as the unit, but I don't know if I've ever heard the big unit.
He was the big unit. Frank Thomas was the big hurt.
The Big Hurt?
Yeah.
I love it.
Which is actually awesome too.
Yeah.
We need more nicknames.
Anything with big, I'm sold on. I'm in.
Another thing we should do, because we've had this come up on the show, is just go to baseballreference.com
and see all of them.
Just click random players and look at all the nicknames. This is really bad if you go on Basketball Reference and look at all the basketball nicknames.
There's so many
that nobody has ever used. But for some reason, they list those on there. And I think that'd be fun for baseball. We should do that for a segment one day.
Yeah, we absolutely should. All
Write that down.
I'm writing it down right now. All right, last one. Bustin' Jeeber.
Darn it. I wish I didn't remember this. This is the guy that he's a Justin Bieber impersonator, and he actually got on stage at a club in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And so they called him Bustin' Jeeber.
Yeah, the person who was like the club, the DJ at the club that was bamboozled by this, this fake Justin Bieber. He was like, he was referring to him as Bustin' Jeeber online.
I was looking at this is very loosely related. The lineup for Coachella just came out. And why does half of the artists just have G at the end of their artist name?
I don't know.
It's Carol G. It's somebody else. I don't know. I can't remember them all now.
Something with the G
but
names.
They just G. If your last name starts with G, or even if it doesn't, you can use that. But nobody would use you wouldn't want to be Carol H.
Yeah.
That would sound lame. But Carol G sounds cool. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's just the way it rings. The way G is it's a good sounding word or letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that it rings
G
well.
and J, they're soft.
Yeah.
But H is kind of harsh.
It's a little harsher.
Yeah. K is a harsh sound.
Yeah. And I have seen this. There's studies behind letters that are associated with bad people and
really?
Good people. And they'll tell you this when you're writing fiction. They'll be okay, for a villain, if you're trying to come up with a name, choose a K name or an S name. But if you're writing for a hero, choose maybe a B name or a J name or maybe an A name. But A might be a little too on the nose. But something that sounds a little softer, a little easier to say, but a harsher word like an S or a K, we more associate it with evil villain characters.
I wonder why that is. And I wonder how that translates to other languages as well.
I know.
That's still the case.
Because they pronounce some letters completely differently than how we do, even if they have the same alphabet.
Yeah. Wow. We started talking about Bustin' Jeeber, and somehow now we've learned.
We took a left turn, but that's okay. This is the exclusive segment for the podcast. We don't have any.
It's exclusive because it's too bad for the radio.
No, it's exclusive because we don't have to have any rules, any things that's tying us down.
We need rules sometimes.
No,
don't you
this
think?
is fun. This is fun. It's a fun conversation.
The World Stone Skimming Championships has been rocked by a cheating scandal.
Funny.
8772 Radio, there's a delayed reaction. First of all, the World Stone Skimming Championships are a thing.
Okay.
They take place in Eastland, Scotland. Ever since 1983 is the first time they were ever held. In 1997, it became an annual event. And ever since then, stone skimmers from across the globe have flocked to Eastland, Scotland every year, a name that rolls off the tongue, so that they can participate in the World Stone Skimming Championships. Interestingly enough, I thought this was interesting. They judge it by how far your stones go, not how many skips they do.
Oh.
Yeah. Because to me, when I go to the lake or whatever, I'm always seeing how many skips I can get.
Yeah.
I guess because there's not even a way for me to measure
Right.
how far it goes.
Right.
But at the stone skimming championships, all they care about is distance. But there are some specific rules. Particularly, stones have to be naturally formed Eastdale slate stones. They have to be no less than 3 inches across at their widest point. Or they do need to be less than 3 inches across at their widest point. Forgive me, I'm still learning about the World Stone Skimming Championships. Competitors get 3 attempts, 3 throws, and then their total distance is how the champion is determined. Okay?
Wow.
But here's where the cheating scandal comes in. Apparently, some competitors were altering their stones, so they weren't natural Eastdale slate stones. They were from the island, but they were messing with them so they could be an advantageous shape. They could be formed fortuitously for skimming, and the judges caught this.
Oh, boy.
Some of the quotes are amazing. This is from Dr. Kyle Matthews, who I guess was at the event. They don't really give his qualifications. He's a doctor. A doctor of what? Stone skimming?
I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say, but he's a judge, so I guess we have to listen to what he says.
He says that the judges were made aware of rumors and murmurings of some nefarious deeds.
Oh, nefarious.
What a way to put it. Like, they're altering stone.
They do know this is stone skimming, right?
Right.
They do know that's what's going on here?
He said when they took a look at the rocks, they were deemed, quote, suspiciously circular.
No, I think I'm going to refer to rocks like that from now on.
Yeah, if you
that
ever
rock
see...
is suspiciously
If
circular.
you're ever out and you see a rock that's suspiciously circular, that probably means that there's been some nefarious deeds.
Yes.
Ironic coming from Dr. Kyle Matthews, but he said that contestants admitted they had engaged in, quote, a little bit of stone doctoring.
Wow.
What, maybe this guy was the doctor, the stone doctor.
He's like, only I can doctor stones.
Yeah.
I didn't go to, doctor school.
I didn't spend all this money to put myself through years of medical school.
Yeah.
to have somebody else doctor these
the stones.
Only I can do that. All the people accused did confess, and so, but multiple people were accused.
Wow.
Multiple participants. But fortunately, once they were kicked out, the stone skimming championships were able to be held, and a champion was crowned.
So first of all, imagine being so serious about stone skimming that you would participate in an event like across the globe, like if you weren't from this area.
That you would know about it.
That you would know about it and enter and go.
In fact.
And second of all, imagine being so invested in stone skimming that you are willing to doctor a stone to try and
You're
win.
willing to cheat at stone skimming. Although the flip side is it's so low stakes. Like this could be the biggest thing you ever do in your sad life.
Oh my goodness.
That you win the World Stone Skimming Championships. It's probably worth maybe just seeing what you can get away with because flags fly forever, Well,
it wasn't worth it for them.
No.
They got disqualified.
They got caught. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to show their face at the Stone Skimming Championships again.
Lifetime ban.
Yeah. But congratulations to American Jonathan Jennings. He was the winner. So we did it.
Good job, Jonathan.
He did it. He skipped a trio of stones, 177 meters.
Wow.
That must be a lot.
I don't know how far that is, but that sounds like a lot.
Far enough to win. Don't worry. TikTok's not going anywhere. At least not until December. 8772 Radio U. Was anybody worried?
I was not worried.
I mean, you weren't worried. You don't even have TikTok.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't use it.
I feel like nobody was worried, which is crazy because you go back earlier this year, like literally to the beginning of this year, it was like, what's going to happen to TikTok?
And it was gone for almost a day.
It did. It disappeared for a little while. It stopped working. But don't worry, it's not going anywhere, at least not until December. I didn't know this, but the deadline, once again, that same deadline that caused it to disappear or stop working for a day here in the United States was coming up once again. was supposed to be this week.
It was supposed to be today.
It's supposed to be today.
Yeah.
But President Trump yesterday signed an executive order once again delaying the enforcement of a TikTok ban. And so they have pushed that off now until December 16th, although they're pretty adamant, like President Trump himself, pretty adamant that they have what he says, quote, a framework for a deal to keep the app available in the United States. So I feel like they've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just been interesting to watch because I think we both said when they did the second deadline that it just seemed like they were going to continually kick this can down the road until they can finally solve it. But I feel like by them kicking the can down the road, they're just like putting it on the back burner. And then when it comes up to the time when the deadline is supposed to be happening, they're like, oh yeah, we haven't gotten a deal yet.
Right.
We need to work on that. Oh, it's extend the deadline. And so, I mean, I hope that's not what's happening behind the scenes, but it seems like what's happening behind the scenes.
Once a deadline is proven to, and this happens in any of our own individual lives, once a deadline is proven to not really be a deadline at all.
Yeah.
That takes away all urgency.
Yeah.
And so that thing that you don't really want to do anyways, and then you realize, oh, if I just like miss the deadline, nothing bad happens, then you're just never going to do it.
Right.
And that's basically what's happening, I feel, with this. Because also, like, I'm not going to win any popularity points with this because, I mean, people seem to love TikTok more than they care about whatever it's doing in China or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But if there's a framework, what if we just like actually enforce the deadline? Because, I mean, TikTok will come back as soon as a deal was reached, right? If we're so close to a deal, why don't we just actually enforce a deadline? And then that deal will get done real quick, and then we'll just have it back. We can go a few days, right?
Yeah,
without it.
That's what I'm thinking too, because at this point, what you're telling the Chinese government and their president, you're letting them know as, you know, the U.S. government that you really, really don't want to ban TikTok because of the public outrage that will happen.
We've lost our leverage now.
Yeah, and so all leverage is lost. It's in their hands now. And so by you continually kicking this can down the road and extending this deadline time after time. This is the fourth time they've extended this deadline. You're just showing that, you know, you clearly do not want to ban this. And yeah, all leverage is lost on our side of the table. It's fully in China's hands to get whatever they want.
They can keep raising the price or whatever and changing the terms of the deal. And then if, December 16th rolls around and we're like, I don't really know. I think that's, and then China's like, okay, then I guess we just won't. And then they're like, well, hold on. We'll extend the deadline. Let's get a deal done eventually.
Exactly.
Because we don't want to be unpopular for banning TikTok. Why would we even enforce a law?
I mean, we should. It's a law that had a lot of bipartisan support.
I know. Why enforce something like that? Speaking of TikTok, there's a Chicago Bears fan on TikTok who has made a big mistake.
Oh, yeah?
His name is Chase Bandelick. He is a ultra runner, a gym owner, and a diehard Bears fan. At the beginning of this football season, he made a pledge. He would run 1 mile for every point the Bears lose by every week this season.
Oh.
And if you weren't keeping track or paying attention, the Chicago Bears lost to the Detroit Lions this Sunday, 52-21.
Oh my goodness.
You do the math on that, that's 31 points. AKA Chase Bandelick had to run 31 miles. That's more than a marathon.
I was going to say, that is more than a marathon by a lot.
Yeah, that is, I really think when he made this pledge, even if he thought didn't think the Bears would be great this season, he was just trying to be a little optimistic. I'm sure he didn't envision them losing by 31 points.
Has he done this run yet?
He did it. Yeah, he did it. He documented it. He tracked it on whatever his fitness watch is. And so he was a man of his word.
Oh, wow.
I love how the Detroit Lions, I have to give them credit. Obviously, I'm not, they're a Packers rival.
Yeah.
But I love how their social media commented on his video and said, get to stepping, bro. This guy has signed up for madness this year. Like, he may not survive the football season.
I was gonna say that sounds like some sports fan misery. We talked about the misery index from ESPN, where it tested how miserable you were as a sports fan based off of your franchise that you cheer for. This sounds like you just made it even worse. Mm-hmm. Not only are you losing games, I mean, I guess if you love running, this might be a reward for you. Yeah. But now you have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
With these miles.
Isn't it bad enough that you cheer for a team that sucks? Like, doesn't that make you upset enough?
Right.
Ruin your week enough?
Right.
You don't have to add a 30-mile run.
Oh wow.
I mean, to be fair to this man, he may have thought, like last year, okay, the Bears had a point differential of -60 for the whole season.
Okay.
So you're thinking, yes, doesn't exactly equal out because you don't run negative miles for the games your team wins, right?
Yeah.
But still 60 miles over the course of an entire football season for this guy who is an avid runner, that's doable.
Yeah.
That could be 2 or 3 miles a week. But in this case, losing by 31 points, hardly anybody is in shape to do that.
I know. I was going to say I never would sign up for something like that because there's absolutely no way I'd be able to do that.
And you're a Browns fan, so if anybody could give them a run for the Bears, a run for their money.
Yeah, it would definitely be the Browns.
A run for their money. Delayed reaction. I think sometimes it takes them a minute to get it, I think. It's so highbrow. The fall fundraiser starts next week. Details at RadioU.com. Also, we're 15 minutes away from the Battle of the Buzz with new music from JD and Indie Tribe squaring off, and you get to decide the champion. But first, we've finally done it. We finally found a story, I think, Allie, that at least makes me at least as squeamish, as unsettled as you.
Yeah.
Because usually you're the one, even though you love horror movies and I don't, you seem to be much more uncomfortable with like body stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why. Whenever we talk about this type of stuff, it always just makes me like hurt in that area.
We talk about like worms in your eye and stuff like that.
My eyes start suddenly watering.
Right. This one, honestly, it's not even that bad either, but it really upsets me. Elton John is in a new documentary called Touched by Gold, where he explains that when he had his kneecaps removed, he had them turned into jewelry that he can now wear.
Ugh, gross.
And so the first question I wanted to know, why did he have his kneecaps removed?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like kind of something that's important. Like, don't you need your kneecaps?
You would think.
If not, why are they there? Apparently, he underwent a double knee replacement surgery last year. And so I guess it's replacement, not removal necessarily, but I guess they put artificial kneecaps in maybe.
Probably.
And then they took out the actual kneecap bones, and he asked the surgeon if he could keep the kneecaps, and the surgeon was like, yeah, I guess you can. And so he asked a jeweler who named Theo Fennell he said, would you be prepared to, if I gave you the left and right kneecap, to do what you want with them?
That's so broad. What do you mean, Elton John? Do what you want with them.
Theo Fennell, the jeweler, was on board. So what they did was they baked them to dry them out. They baked the kneecaps. Baked kneecap. He says they became kind of like pumice stones, very porous. So they had to glaze them or paint them with acetate and then polish them. And then they turned one of his kneecaps into a brooch, his left kneecap. Didn't you say on the show that you want to bring back brooches?
I do love brooches, but the idea of a brooch made from your own kneecap does not sound appealing to me.
A kneecap brooch.
No thanks.
It's a new fashion accessory that everybody needs, and then so both of his kneecaps turned into jewelry, gold plated and everything.
I don't like this. I don't like this idea, Elton John. I'm worried about the ramifications. We talk about beauty standards and how the Kardashians have set things up where it's like suddenly young girls think they need plastic surgery, think they need BBLs because of what they see on social media.
Mm-hmm.
What are people going to do when they see these kneecap brooches and necklaces?
There's only
Elton
one
John?
way to get this.
Yeah.
And that's getting your kneecaps removed.
Or finding someone else's kneecaps.
That's right. Why?
Are we going to have grave diggers again?
Yeah, that's... Hey, you know what? If that's what this results in, I think that's okay compared to...
Robbing someone's grave for their kneecaps?
Better than robbing a live person of their kneecaps. Or getting your kneecaps removed just to make jewelry. Those both would be problematic to me. If you're
all of that is problematic to me.
Defiling a grave just to get the kneecaps, I don't. That on the ranking of how bad I think things are, that one's definitely the lowest.
Why?
Because the person's already dead. What do they care?
Well, it's not what they
don't
care.
Need their kneecaps anymore.
It's their family. You know, they paid to have them buried there. Why are you disturbing their grave?
You get the kneecaps. You put everything back the way it was. Nobody is the wiser.
No.
The family's not going to know.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to know that, hey, there was grass there yesterday. Now that's just a bunch of pile of dirt.
What are the odds that they come and visit the gravesite the day after it's been robbed?
Well, I'm sure some employee at the cemetery is going to notice.
Maybe this crime would take some, you'd have to case the place. Like, you're going to have to find graves that never get visited so that you don't get caught. Maybe some really, really old graves.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I know where some are.
I don't know what the shape of the bones would be if you went to some really old graves.
The older the grave, the cooler the kneecap jewelry. That would be like the status symbol.
Elton, what have you done?
Yeah, what has he started? And can I just say, why do kneecaps gross me out?
They do.
We have a Fire Festival update, and I promise this is not a Mad Lib. 8772 Radio U. Fire Festival, of course, was listed on eBay earlier this summer, and we now know who bought Fire Festival. It was LimeWire outbidding Ryan Reynolds to get the rights to acquire Fire Festival. LimeWire, if you aren't old enough to know, LimeWire was before there was Spotify, I mean, really when everything was converting from CDs to like iPods and, digital music.
MP3.
A LimeWire was a way of people illegally shared music, and it was a big problem. It was like LimeWire and Napster, and those are the big things that the music industry claimed were destroying everything. And look, the music industry's still going somehow.
Still going strong, but these are...
And so is LimeWire somehow.
Yeah, somehow it has enough money to buy Fire Festival, so I'm not really sure exactly what it's doing to remain in business. But maybe it's turned into a streaming service like Napster. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, because I think Napster still exists as well.
Yeah, it's illegal. It is legal. It's not operating illegally.
It is now legal.
Yeah. It's not.
Or whatever it's doing is legal.
Right. Whatever it's doing, it's not doing the same stuff
What is it doing? We don't know.
We're not sure.
Yeah. With LimeWire, same thing, except we know what it's doing. It's acquiring Fire Festival, which probably tells you... it probably tells you how much Fire Festival really wasn't worth, that LimeWire
could afford it.
Yeah, it was able to afford it, and how much Ryan Reynolds really wasn't willing to bid on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Ryan Reynolds, with all his acting money and investments and Mint Mobile money and whatever, like I feel like he could have bought Fire Festival if he really wanted it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess he came in second place.
Right. Well, it might be good for his brand that he didn't get Fire Festival.
I don't know. I think if all the people that could buy Fire Festival and people would be like, hey, that sounds fun. Like, I don't know what he would do with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody just loves Ryan Reynolds so much.
It's true. Because even the stuff with Blake Lively, his wife, I feel like hasn't really tarnished his reputation too much. Even though I don't think she's going to really be able to recover from that. But I love this quote from LimeWire about this purchase. They said, Fire became a symbol, and their Fire as in Fire Festival, became a symbol of hype gone wrong, but it also made history. We're not bringing the festival back. We're bringing the brand and the meme back to life, this time with real experiences and without the cheese sandwiches.
What does that mean?
I know. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, what are they referring to? The article that talks about this purchase thinks they might be turning Fire Festival into some type of streaming service. Like music streaming.
Yeah.
Which I guess maybe that's what LimeWire has been, because that's what Napster, I think, turned into, a streaming service that, again, is now operating legally. So maybe LimeWire was doing the same thing, but they decided to purchase a brand like Fire Festival and maybe hype themselves up a little bit with that.
Connect experiences to it, because I've heard about even Spotify trying that out, of trying to like expand out of like just making you think of Spotify in other ways besides only you listen to music on it.
Right.
Like it's your connection to artists in different ways. So maybe Fire Festival / LimeWire is going to do the same thing. And because Fire Festival is at least a name, like nobody was thinking about LimeWire.
No.
But when you get whenever anything Fire Festival happens, it's news, even if it's not the kind of news that you may necessarily want.
Yeah, but I do like that they mentioned like this is something we have to turn the brand name around. We got to turn this franchise around. That's what LimeWire is determined to do. Are they the brand and the company that can do it? I don't know.
What do their resources look like?
Right.
We have no
I don't know if
idea.
you can believe that they can turn this around, but hey, props to them for trying.
More power to them. It'll be, if nothing else, interesting to see what happens next. Allie, let's not beat around the bush. You're pretty short.
I am.
Do you ever dream about being taller?
No, I don't.
No, you don't think about it at all?
I really don't.
I'm pretty average, right? I'm a pretty average height for a man.
I'd say so. What is your height?
Like 5. You know what? They measured me a while ago. And I think I was 5. I think I was actually over 5'10".
Really?
I think I might have been.
I would have guessed.
I should look this up.
I would have guessed 5'9",
because
so
it's
I wouldn't
recorded
be far
somewhere.
off.
But I was measured, and I was actually surprised because normally most people bump up their height a little bit, and so when they bumped up my height for me, I was like, I didn't know I was that tall.
Yeah, you're like, I've been bumping myself down.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty average. But there is one time that I always wish I was taller. When I'm at a concert.
Oh, yes. Or a sporting event.
Yeah, depending on where you're sitting. But at a concert when it's just general admission and you're in the pit, that is the one time where I think you can live a pretty good life not being super tall. But if you were tall at a concert, I just imagine that being so much better. I know there's some pressure. You don't want to block, you want to be a nice tall person, not block people behind you. But at the same time, your view is totally different when you're tall at a concert.
Yeah.
It changes the whole experience.
It changes the whole experience. It's an advantage and one that I will never experience myself.
Yeah. When you're short or even average at a concert, I mean, you may be able to see the stage, but you also see a lot of people holding up their phones, a lot of the backs of people's heads, a lot of their sweaty backs.
Yeah.
And when you're tall, you just get the clear view. You just get to look at the action.
Right.
You get to see the good stuff.
Right, which is why the pit's not for me, because people will be like, who's that child in the middle of the pit? Why is she there?
There's a special section for her. If she brings a buddy with her, she can go to the close section for kids. I think that is something that we all need to keep in mind is in our lives, we tend to have the view of the average or short person at a concert where we're looking like the stage is there. The good stuff is happening, but it's hard for us to see it. We're kind of looking at the backs of people's heads and their sweaty backs.
It's a little blocked.
We need to have a view that's above. We need to be looking above to where it's not that the sweaty backs and people's heads aren't still in between you and the good stuff, but you are much more focused on the good stuff than anybody else gets to be. How do we do this? God tells us to focus above. Jesus wants us to focus on him. And yes, the world is still going on. There's a lot of messed up stuff and a lot of struggles we have to face. But when we're focused on God and focused on what he has and his mindset versus our own, it changes your view of everything going on around you.
Absolutely. I think it's something that gives you a lot of perspective in life. When you think about those things and you view things through that lens, it really gives you perspective for life. Because a lot of things that are overwhelming to us, when we have that perspective, that heavenly perspective, suddenly we realize it's not as bad as what maybe we thought initially. And so just to have that little ounce of, oh, this is what actually is affecting me in this moment. And maybe what I'm dealing with is just a symptom of something something deeper down that I need to deal with. Having that perspective is so helpful.
Yeah. Now, most of us will never get to experience what it's like to be a tall person at a concert, but having the view of the world that is, equivalent, that is possible for anybody.
Yeah.
You can just say, hey, God, I need to focus on you. Help me to do that. Fill me with your spirit. Come into my life and help me to stay focused on your way of seeing things and not necessarily my own or the world's own. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. We don't know who the next Irish president will be. The election is coming up in October. We do know it will not be Conor McGregor.
I think I hear cheers right now from the Irish, the good citizens of Ireland. Because if you remember, months ago, when we first talked about Conor McGregor running for president of Ireland, the people of Ireland came to our YouTube channel and let us know how unhappy they were with this news that Conor McGregor was trying to be president.
Yeah.
And it was funny because a lot of them were like blaming us about talking about it, which neither of us gave any type of like political lean. Like
right.
we're not from Ireland. We can't vote in the Irish election. So we were not saying who we were supporting and who we weren't. But
it was also hard to tell because, I mean, and you can imagine this if you were in another, like... It's easy to picture how this could be the case of we got all these comments and it's like, is this actually representative of everybody in Ireland that they all don't want him to be president? Or is it just this video was sent, is popping up in the feeds of people that really hate him anyways or that just have strong opinions. But, well, it turns out it was very representative of the people of Ireland because there was a poll that was conducted last year after he announced his presidential aspirations that found that 89% of people in Ireland wouldn't vote for him if he ran for any political office.
Oh, yeah.
So the odds were stacked against him.
The odds were very much stacked against him. And honestly, it makes sense because, we have no connections to Ireland at all, but everybody that was commenting on that video, again, they were all Irish citizens and they were like, this guy, no, we don't want him as our president.
And I understand it too, because I don't know much about what his actual politics are like. I also feel that I remember reading that like this is a largely symbolic position, the president of Ireland anyways.
Yeah.
But Conor McGregor, as a fighter, may be fun to watch. As a person, seems a little unhinged to be in any political office.
Yeah.
So understandable. But here's the thing. Conor McGregor officially announced on Monday that he's quitting his campaign is coming to an end. That was a serious campaign, according to him, for president of Ireland. It's because he, in Irish law, you must be endorsed. If you want to run for president and appear on the ballot, you must be endorsed by 20 members of parliament or 4 of the 31 county or city councils. And he couldn't even get that. So the actual current elected politicians in Ireland were having none of the Conor McGregor hype. And so he wasn't even able to get on the ballot. And it's pretty hard to win if people can't actually even vote for you.
I was going to say, impossible, one might say, if you're not on the ballot, that you would somehow win. So, I think, again, I hear the cheers from Ireland today. They're like, yay, our politics are not a joke.
Don't be too excited, people of Ireland and people of the world even, because he said in his very long announcement on X, he did near the end, he says, "This is not the end, but the beginning of my political journey. I am driven by a commitment to improve lives, defend rights, and serve the Irish people with dedication and integrity."
All right.
I mean, he's 37 years old. He's got a long time.
A lot of life left to live.
By American standards, he has 40 more years of running for president at least. So there's a bright future ahead, possibly for Conor McGregor. But the good news is, now that he's dropping this, he has more time to focus on not fighting anybody.
Yeah. And being in Guinness commercials.
Yeah. Would you rather Wednesday, our question today, would you rather be woken up in the middle of the night from a deep REM sleep every single night and be forced to eat 3 piping hot, freshly made corn dogs before you could go back to sleep? Or would you rather start every day as soon as you wake up by chugging a 2-liter of Mountain Dew Baja Blast before you could do anything else? Lots of opinions coming in at 8772 Radio U, starting with Dylan, who says, "That's easy. Baja Blast. I get up at 3:30 a.m., So I need caffeine. I don't care where it comes from.
Interesting. Yes. A lot of people start their day with caffeine. So that would just be a lot of it plus sugar. We heard from Charles. He said, I usually wake up hungry in the middle of the night anyway. So give me the corn dogs.
Hey, I like that. I like that thinking. Natasha says, I'd rather wake up to eat 3 corn dogs. Having to chug a 2-liter of Baja Blast would seriously interact with my morning medications.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Heard from Shrew. He says he'll take the corn dogs. He says that he has dogs that typically wake him up in the middle of the night every night already. So it's just adding a step. And he said the Baja Blast would just make him sick.
I'm seeing a consensus here because Scott also just simply says, corn dogs, please, in all caps.
We heard from Jonathan. He said, my choice is an easy one. 247 grams of sugar and 380 milligrams of caffeine in the morning. America!
What a way to start your day. It's the American way. John said, am I paying for this would you rather? Because that sounds really expensive.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, if these are gremlins providing the corn dogs and providing the Baja Blast 2-liter, which again is a magical thing because it doesn't exist in the wild, or at least seems to be really hard to find, I think this is provided for you. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I think it just magically appears.
Yep.
I don't think you have to pay for it.
Yes.
Especially keep in mind the corn dogs are piping hot. Freshly made.
Yeah, it's like you're at the fair.
Yeah, I guess if this is a totally different equation, if you have to get the piping hot corn dogs, you have to find those, source those in the middle of the night. I mean, then you're basically that's just starting your day.
Then no one would choose the corn dogs. So yeah, that's not. They just magically appear.
Magically appear. You don't have to pay for it.
Suspend all disbelief for this one. We heard from Dee. She says neither. I'm allergic to oranges. The third ingredient in all Mountain Dew products is orange juice. Found that one out the hard way. I didn't know that, Dee. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mountain Dew is, I think, what is the word? I think it's brominated orange juice.
Okay, I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's like some kind of chemical. But
to be fair, I don't think we like the sound of any ingredient in like corn dogs or soda.
If you read the ingredients, you don't want to be involved in that. William says, if I ate 3 corn dogs in the middle of the night, I believe I would just get sick as a kid up through high school. If I ate snack food, mostly anything, I went straight to sleep. I would wake up with what I now know is a hangover. So he was eating junk food and giving himself hangovers and not even realizing it. So with that said, I guess he's going to go with the Mountain Dew.
Wow. Landon has struck gold. Listen to this text. We do have 2-liter Baja Blast here in Maryland, but I'm not sure where. He says there's 4 of them in our church fridge right now. What? Hold on to those for dear life, Landon, because when I was looking up, I always make our Would You Rather Wednesday graphic for social media. When I was looking up Baja Blast 2-liter, there was so many posts on Reddit of being like, I found one. And people were in the comments are like, where'd you find it?
I didn't think they seriously made them.
Yeah. So apparently they're pretty rare, Landon. But he did say he's going with the corn dogs.
And then Susanna said, I think corn dogs, I like them more than Mountain Dew, but also chugging a 2-liter sounds like a bad move.
All right. What are you going with, Mr. Dog? Hot dog man.
You know I'm taking corn dogs.
Yeah.
I get to go back to sleep. If it wasn't in the middle of the night, 3 piping hot, freshly made corn dogs sounds like a dream come true to me. Every single day. So that is obviously what I'm choosing.
I think what is convincing me not to choose the corn dogs is when I wake up, I am always super dehydrated. I need to chug water. And so the idea of waking up and immediately having to stuff down 3 corn dogs, I'm like, I'm going to have dry mouth. Like it's going to be terrible. And so I'm worried about choking or something. So I think even though I don't like Mountain Dew, I'm going to go with the Baja Blast 2-liter because, you could start your day with that, but then you can drink a whole bunch of water, whatever you want, and you'll be fine.
Try to cancel it out. If you have the 0 sugar Baja Blast, I feel like that's not cheating.
Yeah.
Maybe you could negotiate with the trolls and the wizards to get that.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
It would still be bad for your teeth, but otherwise, you could handle that.
Just brush them a whole bunch right after.
Yeah. A scuba thief has struck at Disney World. 8772 Radio U, and what may possibly be the perfect crime. A scuba-clad criminal robbed the Paddlefish restaurant at Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida. This happened on Monday, where this is a restaurant that is a replica steamboat. It sits on Lake Buena Vista at Disney World at Disney Springs. And so what happened is this individual scubaed in the lake, appeared on the boat as I think the restaurant was closing, like at least employees were counting money. The scuba person forced the employees into a corner, that I think it was 2 employees, tied them up, told them to close their eyes, and then stole somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000.
Oh my gosh.
And retrieved his scuba gear, made an escape, and as far as we know, is still at large.
Has not been found. I saw this yesterday, and what I saw was an article, like that was a recommended article, and I was reading another one for, research for something that we were talking about on the show. And I saw it, and I just saw the image of the guy that they got on what looks to be like CCTV footage. Uh-huh. And it's like him in his scuba gear. And at first, I thought it was Paul Dano in the Batman when he's dressed up as the Riddler. I was like, wait, is that what? And then I saw the article title that it was an actual person that was a thief that had, robbed this restaurant at Disney Springs, which I've been to, by the way.
Mm-hmm. You've been to this restaurant?
Yeah, I've been there.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's true. It's right on the water. So someone could theoretically do what he did, swim up to it. And yeah, he made a quick escape with, somewhere, like they said, between $10,000 and $20,000. It's so crazy.
And it feels like, I wouldn't say inside job, but obviously this individual had to have quite an idea of the inner workings of the Paddlefish restaurant.
You would think.
So maybe some kind of former employee or something like that would know when they counted the money and where and what to do and blah, blah, blah. But other than that, what do you have to go off of? You can't make out any characteristics about this individual.
Nope.
And they scuba it away. They're long gone.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it this is a daring crime too? Obviously, robbing Disney is daring in itself, but then you also think about it's Florida and a giant lake. All the alligators that this person must have braved make this robbery.
Good point. But scuba diving is quite common in Florida, so I guess people just deal with it. I don't know. I guess they're used to it if they're scuba diving in Florida.
I feel like scuba diving in an alligator-infested lake is it's risky.
Well, I think one of the most popular and one of the most dangerous, just because it's like a crazy cave and like you can get stuck. I think it is in a lake in Florida. It's called like the Eagle's Nest or something. Mm-hmm. One of the cave diving spot.
So you're saying let's camp out at the Eagle's Nest. Let's see who's willing to scuba here. They may be the type of person that also would be willing to scuba at Lake Buena Vista and rob Disney World.
Maybe. If they're daring enough to go to the Eagle's Nest, maybe they would be daring enough to rob the Paddlefish restaurant.
That could be. We might be onto something. Yeah, it's a lead.
We got to stick about. I mean,
we gotta work with what we have.
The robbery feels like a movie, so why not make the stakeout like a movie?
Yeah.
We should respond with movie-like tactics.
Exactly. And then eventually turn this into a movie.
100%. Disney's already working on it.
They can make their $20,000 back in the movie with making a movie for this.
Yes.
I believe that.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.